I'd say that we had a pretty good time camping out here by the reservoir up in Idaho. I've certainly had a good time. It's a beautiful spot. The sun's just coming up and it's going to be another good day of riding. I got my first motorcycle when I was 8 years old. It was only a little Honda 50, and I had a lot of fun and a lot of adventures riding that little mini bike around the trails. There would be days when I would pack my little knapsack and I would take off on a long ride, which for an 8-year-old was maybe 5 miles, maybe 10 miles, but it felt like an incredible adventure. I take it very seriously. I know that this is a game that has high stakes, but I truly believe that if you ride responsibly and you know how to find that sweet spot between improving your skills and staying within your limits, you can have a really successful, safe riding experience. Alright guys, I've got something really special here today that I just can't wait to get into. As you know, I had a little accident with my drone about a week ago riding in southern Utah, and I got a replacement. So I'm out here in the woods and I'm going to open up the new Mavic Air 2 and start working it. This is only the second drone that I've ever owned in my life. The first one I had was the Mavic Pro, and I had it for 3 years, and it's been a good drone, you know, good enough for my first drone. I used it quite a bit and was able to get some good footage over the years with that drone. It's not without its issues. It's definitely a learning curve to learn how to fly a drone, and I really put a lot of time into being a responsible drone pilot, learning how everything worked, flying safe, you know, those kinds of things. And it's been a lot of work. It's been a steep learning curve. And even after owning it for 3 years, I don't feel like I still completely knew and used every function that it was capable of. I did try to get better over the last few years, and I think my cinematography with it has improved quite a bit, particularly by getting into the automatic intelligent flight modes that it does. So we're going to see how that works with this. Man, what an awesome ride today. I woke up at the McKay Reservoir, just north of the Idaho border, camped out there last night, and then hit the road this morning and did some incredible twisty mountainous roads through Ketchum and Sun Valley, and then continued north to Challis, where I am now. And along the way, I took the Custer Scenic Byway. It goes through the mountains. It's about 50 miles of dirt road, and it goes through some old mining communities, and it's just a rugged backcountry experience that led me to where I am now, which is Challis, Idaho, and I'm at the Challis Hot Springs. It's a developed campground, and there's a hot springs here. We're going to check that out later, but first I want to cook some dinner. So this is what's on the menu tonight. We've got some steak and some mushrooms and some mashed potatoes. And the first thing I want to do is get everything ready to cook. So I'm just going to put a little oil and some salt and pepper on these steaks. And then I'll do the same thing with the mushrooms. So we'll put some good salt on there, some pepper. There we go, flip them over. That's a lot of steak. I'm not going to be probably eating all of that. One of the hardest things about cooking like this isn't, that you're out here cooking in the backcountry, so to speak. The hardest thing is just being able to purchase food for one person. It's hard to find single servings of good meats and produce and vegetables unless you can, hit a really good grocery store or maybe a place that has a bulk food section. Like, you just can't always buy enough just for one person, for one meal. You have to buy quantities, and when you're camping on a motorcycle, that's not really possible because you don't have the space or the carrying capacity to carry a bunch of food, not to mention you can't keep it cool. There's no refrigeration, so you pretty much have to buy whatever you're going to cook, as late in the day as you can, so that when you get to the campsite, it's still good and will be good to cook. I'll put some salt and pepper on these mushrooms. Okay, those are going to be good. We're going to do it upright. We've got some Idaho roasted garlic mashed potatoes here too. So the real test today, and the thing that I'm the most excited about, is this. It's my Firebox Stove. It's brand new. Never used it before, and we're going to test it out today. Let's see here, like that. And then it goes just like that, and the bottom drops down into it. Okay, this is some fire starter here. Put some of that down in the bottom. Put some wood on top of it. This is pretty dry kindling, but hopefully it will be enough to cook the steak. And if it isn't, there are some coals in the bottom of this fire pit here that I might be able to put into it. All right, the Firebox Stove is being used for the first time. I've been pretty excited to try out this little thing. I've been carrying it for several days and haven't been able to use it because there's fire bans everywhere. But up here in Idaho, it's a little different, and so we get to test out the Firebox Stove. I'm going to get some water boiling over here for the mashed potatoes and the vegetables in the meantime. So we'll save a little for tomorrow night. Say that's about a half a pack there. So that's about it. That's all that takes. We'll set these off to the side. Boy, this kindling just burns up really, really fast, and it's not really creating any coals. We're gonna go for a little walk in the woods and see if we can't find a bigger dry log that we can cut up and put in there. I think this might just work fine. Get a couple pieces of this. There. I think we'll get some charcoal out of that one. We've got a few pieces left here. Stuff is pretty dry, but hopefully it'll make some coals and we can cook a steak on it. So let me tell you a little bit about this Firebox stove and why I got it. I've watched a lot of videos about it, and I've seen some amazing things being prepared on this stove. It's very versatile, and it packs up super compact. As you've seen, it just folds up flat, and it has some attachments like a grill plate that comes with it, and they all fit inside of this case. And so it's really easy to pack inside of a pannier. It's flat, it's rectangular, and it's solid. It's got some weight to it. It's hefty. It's made out of stainless steel. And the design is pretty ingenious. It folds up flat and then it expands really easily. And you use these different fire sticks that come with it to position. You can create like a cooking surface on the top here. It's pretty simple. So there you can put your pan or your pot to boil water. And these sticks can be positioned in multiple places, so you can have the height as high or as low as you want it. It has a lot of ventilation built into it, but it also contains the heat really well. When you're normally cooking on a campfire, it's just kind of open to the elements and the wind, and the heat just kind of blows around and disperses. And not only that, you don't really have a good cooking surface unless you bring a grill or something like that with you. The benefit of this, in my opinion, is that it concentrates the heat and it gives you that flat cooking surface, and it folds up really small. So it's pretty cool. We're going to use this plate here in a little while to cook our steak. It also comes with a smaller one, and it's got this one here, which just happens to fit perfectly with my cup. And so I could position that on there and boil some water pretty easily. Another advantage to this is that you're using wood, so you don't have to carry fuel with you. You can use the natural wood that you find wherever you might be traveling. And not only does it burn wood, you can pretty much burn anything in here. I've seen it used with charcoal briquettes, or I've seen it used with like a Trangia alcohol burner that nests in there. It's designed so that that is positioned at just the right height so that you can burn your alcohol stove that way. And it's all wind protected, so it's very versatile. Okay, we're going to put the grill on. Just like that. We're going to put some steak on. Well, like I said, I might not be able to eat all of this steak, but it sure is fun cooking it. It seems to be doing a beautiful job so far. Ooh, that smells good. Move them around a little bit here. I tell you, this is the life. Riding motorcycles all day, camping out at night, cooking steak. And then we've got a hot spring to check out in a little while. It's always nice to end the day with a hot spring soak, even if it is the middle of summer. All right, I think these are hopefully about done, so I'm going to take these steaks off of here for now. We'll set them over here. And I'm going to put the mushrooms on here. Get those sauteing up a little bit. I'm going to feed a couple more sticks into the firebox here because it's running a little low. Let's see how these steaks look. I'm lacking a plate. I don't really have a plate with me right now. Ooh, that looks pretty good. That'll work. It's tricky cooking three things at once. In this case, steak, mushrooms, and mashed potatoes. And on top of that, filming it. It's definitely an exercise in timing, but you know what, when you're out here doing this kind of thing, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I have to say, there is something really special about being able to do this kind of thing on your own out here, traveling off of a motorcycle, living this way, eating this way. You know, just because we ride adventure motorcycles doesn't mean that we have to continuously live off of gas station, convenience store food. With a little effort, a little preparation, and know-how, you can eat pretty well on the road, and you can have a lot of fun making meals like this one. And there you have it, my friends. There's some steak and some mushrooms and some mashed potatoes. Bon appetit. So I'm going to call it a night. There's a lot more to come though. Stick around. I'm going to be riding for 3 more weeks as I make my way up to the Canadian border and then back down to my home in southern Arizona. And if you've made it this far in the video, I encourage you to subscribe and come back for more stuff like this as I continue on these adventures. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.